Welcome back, everybody. When you hit the road, is there precious cargo on board? We're talking about kids, of course. Having the proper child seat restraints is so important. Brad Wilmoth of Brown & Crouppen is here with a few helpful reminders and a little giveaway if you stick around. Welcome to Great Day, Brad. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
We're used to having Brown & Crouppen folks in, but you're a fresh face to us. Not to them, but to us on Great Day, so we appreciate it.
You bet. Well,
I understand you've got a little background in cases that involve, and this is heart-wrenching, but children that are injured in vehicular accidents. And you dropped a stat on us that made my jaw hit the floor. The #1 killer of kids aged 3 to 14, traffic accidents.
it's shocking. And every year, they say around 1,800 children are killed a year due to improper restraint in child seats. Over 274,000 injuries a year. And that's a shocking number. And there's a lot of things we can do as parents and as a society to try to help with that.
Are we doing something wrong?
Well, not necessarily. I mean, the equipment's out there, the education's out there. It's just a question of making sure we educate ourselves and do things right.
And there are a lot of resources out there to help parents in this, because as a guy that's installed a handful of car seats in my day, it is not the easiest thing.
No, and as these seats get more and more complicated, It gets more and more daunting. And luckily, there's fire department personnel out there willing to help. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet. I mean, you go to YouTube, you can see how to install things properly. Even some of the hospitals have a child safety center where you can go and they can actually install the seat for you and test it, which is great. And I would recommend any parent do that. I mean, I like to do things myself too and figure it out, you know.
Sure, yeah.
But when it comes to child safety, it's probably not a good idea.
Well, and the manufacturer's instructions are helpful. You know, you get a book that's about that thick with a lot of these. But every car is so different, and there's different types of systems that you use to attach these things to the car. So it's tedious, but boy, you've got to be on top of it.
It is, and it's actually kind of interesting. One thing I learned that was very shocking when I started getting involved in these cases is that the child safety seats aren't necessarily made by the auto manufacturers.
Right.
They're made by juvenile product manufacturers. And so every car is different, and every seat position and where it's going to go in that car is different, which is why it's important to try to do your research, get the information that's out there on the internet, and just, you know, do what's best for your kid.
Take a proactive step, too, you say, to sign up for product information if, heaven forbid, that car seat that you decide to go with is recalled or something. They've got to be able to get a hold of you somehow to let you know.
Exactly, and that's extremely important. Congress passed a law that requires manufacturers to send you a free postage registration that you can send in for free. And the one thing that becomes important is when you give these as gifts or receive them as gifts, make sure the grandparents or the friends and family give you the registration to fill out and send in. A lot of times when we get it as a gift, we don't have that information. And it's really important. If there's a recall or a defect, they'll contact you immediately. And as a parent, that's information you want to know.
As if this wasn't enough to digest already, the rules change as the kids change. As they get older, as they get taller, as they get heavier, you change from rear-facing to forward-facing. The type of seat they have to be in changes. Got to stay on top of that, too.
That's exactly right. Up to about 23 pounds or 1 year, you should always have your child in a rear-facing child seat. After 23 pounds or 1 year, you can turn them around and put them in a 5-point restraint. And then after about 80 pounds or so, you can start putting them in the 3-point restraint. But it's real important, and if your child is a little smaller, keep them in the rear-facing seat for a little bit longer. That's very important.
Sure, absolutely. We're talking a lot about safety inside the car, but you've got some other helpful reminders for us, too, that don't necessarily directly relate to seat belts.
That's right. Well, the main thing on the child safety seats is they don't work unless you put your kids in them and buckle them in.
Well, there you go.
And there's a lot of times when I've been tempted as a parent just to let my kid, you know, I'm only going 3 or 4 blocks, buckle them in. And the one thing outside of the car is be mindful of where your kids are. They're walking around, you know, don't back into them, don't run over them. Don't let them get in the trunk. A lot of these things are obvious, but just don't do it.
Sure. Heartbreaking stories, even around the St. Louis area, of well-meaning parents who just didn't know where the child was.
Exactly. Another interesting thing that I learned in working on these cases and dealing on these things is they have actually slap bracelets now that you can put on your steering wheel to remind yourself that your child is in the car.
That's good.
Because I'm sure you're aware of the case where the parents didn't realize the child was in the car, got out of the car, it was hot, and the child died.
Or cold, for that matter.
Or cold, exactly.
That's good stuff.
So you can forget.
Thank you very much. Brown & Crouppen, kind enough to give away 3 copies of this book right here. It's called Precious Cargo, and it's by Arthur Hoffman. Now, Hoffman designed the very first car safety seat back in 1967, so yeah, he knows a thing or two about protecting children on the road. All you need to do is register at greatdaystlouis.com by 11 o'clock this morning for your chance to win. Also, if you have a legal question for Brown & Crouppen, you can email us at